Hey everybody, Tom Love here again. I'm excited to be back with you guys. I got a lot of good feedback from folks that they enjoyed the video. So I'm going to try this again and see if I can do this on a more regular basis. So the market is doing great today. It's up about 3% and it's up about 10% this week in the last 3 days. The reason around that is a lot of optimism around the virus. And so far, we've had a peak in new cases Saturday globally as well as in the United States. It was close, the numbers yesterday for the United States, but globally, we're nowhere near where we were on Saturday. So that's really good news. We don't know if that will stay that way, but so far the market is really optimistic around that. And that's why you're seeing this big jump up. Right now, we're up about 25% from the low on March 23rd. But we're still down about 20% from the high. So still not a bad price. But overall, we have a lot of optimism and there's a lot of good news that's coming forward. So what you're seeing from me and from our accounts here is rebalancing. The purchases that we've made over the last few weeks have made us money, and so we're selling some of those because even though we're really optimistic about the future, things can turn around and not do as well. And so we want to continue to rebalance and be prudent with that. And so that's what you're going to see in your accounts. Okay, so one of my clients said, "Hey, why don't you answer some common questions that you normally would?" And maybe people would like to hear that. I said, "That's a great idea." So the common question that I've been getting more often is, Tom, we know that this is a really tough virus. People aren't going out. The numbers in the economy are going to be really, really, really bad. Why don't we just sell now and wait until the numbers are better and things are looking better after this bad news has come out? And so that's a good thought and a good question. And I think historically it hasn't worked out very well. And uh, and the reason I say that is because the market prices in a lot of bad news before it actually occurs. And so how much is priced in or not is a good question that we don't know exactly, but I can give you some recent examples of why that is not a good strategy. Okay, so about 2 weeks ago, the first job report came out with 3.3 million job losses. That was the most ever. And the market was up 4% that day. So you can see the market had already priced in that bad news. And so when the news actually came, the market did well. A week later, double that record setting 3.3 million was 6.6 million unemployed. The market was up 2.5% that day, last Thursday. So again, the market had already priced in a lot of bad news. And so when the news actually came through, the market did well. And so that's good examples recently why that's happened. And if you look at all of the recessions throughout history, the market hits a bottom about 6 months before the end of the recession. So there's still bad news for 6 months before or after the market actually bottoms. Another example of this is World War II. I just saw some notes about that. In April of 1942, the market bottomed, and Doolittle's raid was right near the bottom. And if you're not familiar with that piece of history, that's when we had a bomber that actually made it to mainland Japan and didn't do any damage really, but psychologically, the fact that we could get there was a big deal. We haven't had Midway at that point, and really the war was very, very early on. But that was actually the bottom of the stock market. And so, even though there was a lot of challenging things around that period of time, the market actually bottomed much before a lot of those challenging events came out. So just another example for you there. And I'll email a list of all of these different periods and the returns and everything else. So you can look into more details if you'd like to. So that's the common question I'm answering today. The other common question that I'm going to answer is, Tom, what's going to happen? Did we bottom already? Is the market going to go up or down in the near term? And that's a tough question, and I think that nobody actually knows the answer to that. And that's hard for me because I want to know all the answers for you all. And I think a lot of us, including me, think that hey, if I just keep learning and keep seeing everything that's going on, maybe I can answer that question well. But what's helped to comfort me, especially during this time, is to know that none of the most successful investors of all time actually know the answer to that question. And so that makes me feel comfortable that I don't know either. And so they've come out over the last few weeks. Everybody's asking them the same thing, and they say they don't know. They certainly can look at what's going on and say, you know what, I think there's deals here. I think that we might want to invest in this or that based on the price and everything else. But they're not actually saying what they know is going to happen. I think especially with this virus, you could see things turn for the worse, and other cities could develop like New York City. Hopefully not. But if that were the case, I think you could see the market really doing poorly. and another surge in new cases. And so hopefully that doesn't happen, but it could. And so because there's that uncertainty, that's part of the reason we're rebalancing, and that's part of the reason that nobody actually knows. And even if there wasn't a virus, nobody knows. So we just do our best to look at the longer term. What longer term investments do we think are going to perform the best? And that's how we try to make our investment decisions. And so far, we've done a good job of that, and I think we will continue to do well. One of the things I'm seeing here, just as a specific investment, is that a lot of the bonds are priced in. Some bonds are the more aggressive bonds are priced like there's going to be mass foreclosures and really, really terrible events. So the prices are very low. That may or may not occur, but the fact that the price is there to me is attractive. You're looking at 12, 13% dividend on those. And so that's an attractive price point. And so we've been buying those a little bit over the last few weeks as well to try to take advantage of some of those deals. So that's what we're doing here. We hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, trying to adjust to the new normal. And I hope that you guys are doing well and have a good rest of your week. Take care.